Hey, you guys. Now, I know I've been gone for like a week. Ever since I came from Dynamite last week, I got super, super sick and I just could not do any reviews. So if you thought that I just got too tired of all the wrestling going on, trust me, I watch everything, including WWE. I took notes and all that stuff. I will catch up with reviews. The only thing that I watch that I will not review is SummerSlam because I was not happy with it at all. But let's talk Dynamite. So first off, we do start off with the JAS mandatory meeting. We have all the members but Chris Jericho in the ring. They call out Chris. Chris comes out. He looks tired as hell and he needs to go to a hairdresser to do something about that hair. It is not looking great on TV. Now, exactly what you think happened. All the members ended up leaving. We started off with Daniel and Jake. They ended up leaving, and then the girls left. And I thought that when Tay left, that Sammy would have left with her, but he stayed in the ring, and he ended up being the last guy to leave the group. Now, interestingly enough, Sammy is still saying that, Chris has lost his way or whatever, but when he finds his way, that, Sammy will be here waiting for him. So he's not necessarily 100% giving up, but in this moment, until Chris Jericho finds himself, he's out of the group. So I did find that interesting that he's basically leaving the door open. Now, after everybody leaves, after a commercial break, we do have Renee who's going to Chris Jericho to ask about what just happened. And when she goes to talk to him, here comes Uncle Don basically coming to console Chris Jericho and, saying, hey, everybody left you, but I'm here for you. You can join the family. Now, Chris is like, he knows exactly what his decision is, but he won't announce it until next week. So we have to wait until next Wednesday to find out what he's going to do, whether he's going to be by himself. Maybe he's going to start crying for the JS to get back together, or he's going to join Uncle Don. I really think it's going to be interesting to see what he would do with Don Callis. Now, up next, you have the Young Bucks versus the Hardys. Now, I'll be honest, my expectations were a little too high for this. I had to consider here that like halfway through the match, I was like, you know what? The Young Bucks are much younger than the Hardys. So I was expecting something a little bit more high energy, something that the Hardys would have been able to do like 15, 20 years ago. Either way, they do still have like a decent match, but the energy wasn't where I wanted it to be. Like how later on in the match we had BCC and Lucha Brothers. I was kind of hoping for that type of energy, but we don't end up getting that. Now, the right team won here, which is the Young Bucks. And the Young Bucks need this win because they're going to go against FTR for the AEW World Title. So it doesn't make sense with them already losing onto their way to that pay-per-view. So after that match, we do have Brandon who was spraying Matt Hardy, and Matt is like, bro, get the fuck off me. But then we have Jeff who's like, hey, I'll take the spray down, and he lets him do his thing or whatever. The Hardy Boys end up leaving, and we do have the Young Bucks who calls out FTR and let them know that, hey, we ready to have this match at Wembley. So FTR does come out, which I kind of wasn't expecting. And this is what I hope happens coming from now on, is that the Young Bucks don't feel like they have to be only on Dynamite or Rampage. Like, what's the problem with being on Collision? Because CM Punk is there. Are y'all about making money and making good memories for the fans or not? So anyway, they ended up having a little stare down, and it's official. We got the Young Bucks versus FTR. I like how we got some matches confirmed for All In, but I don't just want them to say, yeah, we got these matches, but we really want some stories to be told here. So I'm hoping we get to see a nice feud with FTR and the Young Bucks, because we do have a few more weeks, I think 2, maybe 3 weeks before All In. So I hope we get some really good stuff with these guys, because yeah, the one thing that AEW is lacking right now are good stories. So up next, we do have MJF and Adam Cole meeting up at a trampoline park, and MJF is not happy about it. Adam Cole's jumping around, having a good time like a little kid. And then here comes MJF, who takes like something sort of like a dodgeball. It's a ball, but not quite as hard as a dodgeball. And he's whacking all the kids up in the trampoline park. And honestly, I think it's funny as hell. Now, when Adam Cole realizes what MJF is doing, he's like, bro, you can't do that. You can't just be coming up in here hitting kids. That a little girl who's like maybe 11 years old, maybe even younger, comes up to Adam Cole and calls them a nerd for playing at the trampoline park. And then she sticks the middle finger at him, and he is mad as hell. And he tells MJF to hit this bitch with the ball. Well, he didn't say hit the bitch with the ball, but you know what I mean. And here comes MJF gladly hitting the little child with the ball. It was a fun segment, and I didn't expect this because a lot of people kept assuming that after the promo from last week that MJF and Adam Cole weren't gonna be like buddy buddy like that. There probably was gonna be like a lot of issues between them. There's a bit of an issue with them, but they're still having fun. Like, what friends don't have issues here and there? It's still great to get these cool little videos with these guys. It's fun. So we do have a promo from BCC, and I ain't gonna lie, it had something to do with Lucha Brothers. I was just too busy staring at them, so I have no idea what they said. But next, we had the FTW title on the line, RVD versus Jack Perry. And let me just say, the music is not working for Jack. It's not. Jack Perry has some new pants that he's wearing. It's yellow and black. I don't know if it means something or supposed to represent anything, but I felt like it was too big on him. It just didn't look right. I don't know what they're going for when it comes to Jack. I think it's going to be like a more of a trial and error thing before they finally get to what they want to do with him. Either way, I did not like the look at all. Now, while Justin is announcing RVD, they're already in the ring. Here comes Jack attacking RVD. Now, let me just say this. This wasn't the best match, but this is a good match for both of these guys. Jack, for one, I think this is the best match he's had since he's turned heel, and I think I would say I prefer this over than the match he had with Hook. This right here, I think it made him look good. RVD obviously is a great wrestler. He still has everything, like all the flexible moves, everything that you know RVD for. He still does all those things flawlessly. But I do think that this really helped Jack a lot because it helped him look good here. He did play the heel role pretty well in the ring. I just feel like outside of the ring, promos and the look that he needs, he just doesn't have that right now. Anyway, they had a really great match, and I kind of was expecting maybe a squash match with this, but RBD is still doing really, really well in the ring, so I'm glad they gave him an opportunity to go, I want to say 10, 12 minutes in the ring together. Now, what ends up happening here is Jack throws a chair at RVD, and RVD blocks it, but it hits the referee. The referee actually gets hit pretty good with the chair, and the chair lands onto the top rope just chilling, and it didn't even move or anything. And I'm just like, whoa, what kind of sorcery is this? Now, I thought that was cool. The first time in a long time that I've seen a referee get hit, and I feel like, okay, he's down. That makes sense. That's a good reason why he's down. He actually got hurt. During that time, RBD could have taken a win after doing a frog splash. However, I think the crowd counted up to like 7 or 8, and then here comes Aubrey Edwards running from the back. Now, RBD tries to pin again. However, he does not end up taking the win. Jack takes advantage of that and ends up taking the win. I think he did a great job here. However, I just don't feel like as a heel, I'm convinced they need to do some more work on him. Either way, this was a great debut for RBD. Now, I did see like some kind of exclusive interview after this match with RBD and Jerry Lynn. They do not specify that we'll see RBD in the ring again. Just basically talk about how his experience was in the ring for the first time with AEW. I do hope that we get to see him again. If not, he can definitely coach some of these guys. He can definitely be a trainer or something, even just pop up once in a while. I think that would be really great for him. He still has a lot of ability and talent that he can still use. He doesn't have to do it on a regular basis. This was a great night for RBD and Jack Perry too. Now, after that match, we do have a promo from the Lucha Brothers that are basically saying that they're going to get payback for what BCC did to Pac at Death Before Dishonor. Our homie Pac is injured again. I have no idea what's going on with that. I'm hoping we get some info because I thought we would get Pac for All In. I'm not too sure about that right now. Now, we do have Adam Cole and MJF. They're back in the ring and they're cutting these way too long promos for me. And long story short, Cole, he says that he's going to beat MJF at All In for the world title. MJF is like, oh, buddy, you cracking jokes? We can do a promo battle then. And then he goes on and say that Adam Cole is so skinny, pale, and white that if it was the 80s, Hulk Hogan would have snorted him up. And while that's true, there actually would have been a long line of people after Hulk Hogan as well. Now, for whatever reason, I think they proposed the weirdest thing. Adam Cole says that he's been an ROH guy. We know that. But one of the titles he's never won in ROH was the tag title. So now they lost their opportunity to win the AEW titles. So they want the ROH titles. Now, Adam Cole proposed this to MJF. And then at some point, MJF agrees to go after the title. So they want to go against Aussie Open at the All In 0 Hour, the pre-show. And then later on that night for the main event, they want to obviously, go at it for the world title. And I'm just like, well, what the fuck is this? This is just too much. Why don't y'all save this for like All Out or something? I don't know. You know what? That wouldn't even make sense either. Now, anyway, I thought that was weird. Unless something's going to happen in that 0 hour that will play into the main event later on in the pay-per-view, I just don't really see what the point is. Y'all could have given this opportunity to another tag team. Real talk. Anyway, MJF is cool with it, so that's the match we're going to get in the 0 hour portion of All In. Now, while they are happy about being a tag team and all that, here comes Roderick screaming out for Adam. Then he comes out, he got that brace, obviously from that beatdown from Samoa Joe like a week, no, not even a week ago, a month ago, whatever it was. And now he is upset saying, hey man, we were in ROH together. We're best friends. Why didn't you look for me to win those ROH tag titles with? He's really upset about it. MJF is like, stop acting like an ex-girlfriend. You're being weird. And basically tell him to go home and go cry in his bed with his Hello Kitty pillow and put on Taylor Swift and shake it off, you bitch, or whatever he called him. And everybody's all marking out about it. And here's Roderick Strong crying. And then the Kingdom come out and they are lending their shoulders for our homie Roderick to cry on. Honestly, when all that was going on with Roderick and MJF, Adam Cole was quiet. Didn't say a word, didn't react, nothing. And then Roderick is like, you just gonna let him talk to me like that? Like we're friends? And you're just gonna let MJF just cut promos on me and call me a bitch and all that? And Adam does nothing. So after Roderick leaves with the Kingdom, here is Adam Cole pushing MJF like, you need to chill out. Sometimes you're doing the most. And I'm like, well, where was all that like 2 seconds ago? Now the audience are upset that they're getting into it again and they ask them to hug or whatever. They hug it out. Everything is cool. But Adam Cole runs to the back so he can go check on Roderick, that crybaby bitch, crying backstage. Honestly, I really like where they're going with this. I can't wait to see how Roderick and the Kingdom, how they end up, becoming like a heel faction together and going against Adam Cole. Or Adam Cole will be joining them after All In. I don't know how it's going to happen, but it sounds good right now. So now we have the BCC versus the Lucha Brothers. So it's Claudio and Moxley taking care of business while Wheeler Yuta is standing ringside looking pretty. Now, Wheeler Yuta, he does get involved here and there in the match, maybe like 2 or 3 times or whatever. And to be honest, that energy that BCC and Lucha Brothers had was what I was hoping we was gonna get with the Young Bucks and the Hardys earlier in the show. It just wasn't the same energy. They all definitely got different types of strength that they can play off of, but the energy just wasn't there for me earlier in the night. But anyway, BCC and Lucha Brothers, they do a really great job. They always work well together, so I was expecting, to see great from them anyway. Now, what I wasn't expecting to see is at the end, they ended up taking off Penta's mask. Um, let's just say I couldn't see his eyes, but I can see like everything below the eyes, and he quickly like covered like this part of his face, and obviously don't want to be seen. So now that he's vulnerable, Mox goes for that pin anyway so that they could take the win. And it was absolutely hilarious to see Claudio put on Penta's mask, and he's over here beating up on the Lucha Brothers. And I wanted to feel bad for Penta, but I couldn't stop laughing because it's like he looks absolutely insane with the mask on. Now, Wheeler Yuta, he comes in and joins in the beatdown or whatever, but I'm just wondering if we're going to get BCC with the Lucha Brothers and Pac, Death Triangle at All In. Maybe Pac is just injured enough to make it at the pay-per-view. So I'm thinking that we're probably still going to get this trios match. I'm not 100% sure what's going on with Pac, but I'm hoping that's where we're geared towards. Either way, still a great match. Love their energy every time they come there, especially after that parking lot brawl that BCC had. How do they still have their energy to come back days later and perform like that again? The world would never know. So now we have Kenny Omega coming in the building, and that one guy that's always doing the interviews, I never remember his name, whatever it is, he is asking Kenny, like, what's up with you? What you gonna do at Wembley? And if Kenny doesn't go to Wembley, he can just come and chill with me for the weekend. We can watch the damn pay-per-view together. But since that won't happen, he lets everyone know that he's having a sit-down interview with JR next week, and they're going to be discussing things about his career, also what he's going to be doing at Wembley. So yeah, we'll see what's going on with that. And I'm just hoping we're not going to get like Chris Jericho versus Omega thing. We've already had that a couple of years ago. Chris, he's just not in that shape anymore, so I hope that's not where we're going with it. So now we have the Mogul Embassy. They're making their way to the ring, and Prince Nana, Jesus Christ, every time Swerve music comes on, he does that dance, and it's like, bro, stop it. On behalf of black people everywhere, stop it. It's not looking good. Now, it's hilarious, but it's not all that. Now, they come onto the ring, they call out Darby. Darby comes out, and he's like, look here, AR Fox, I don't know why you're telling everybody that I didn't call you. I have called you. You never answered the phone. And now I'm just like, okay, all right, cool. We're still on the phone thing. Look, I don't mind that whole stuff or whatever, but now I want to see someone get their teeth kicked in. So now Darby, he's like, look, you're with the bad guys now. You have friends. Just know I have friends too. And when he says that, you already know what that means. It's Sting. So the light go off, and it's off for a little bit. And then like after like 20, 30 seconds, lights turn back on. And it's Sting. I had already started swinging that bat on whoever was in the ring. Obviously, you can't see, so whoever got hit, got hit. Now, Darby gets in there, and he's helping out Sting, but it ends up being just Swerve and what's his name, Sting in the ring. Oh, and you guys already know, Tony Schiavone was orgasming like a little girl when Sting comes in the ring. That's usual. So now, it's just them two in the ring, and he's hitting Swerve with the bat. And then at some point, they're both just standing up, and there's the All In sign in the background, and Sting points at it. At first, I'm like, Sting, are you talking about just you and Swerve at All In? If that's the case, you guys can start the funeral arrangements now. But what ends up happening, it's going to be AR Fox and Swerve versus Darby and Sting. So Nick Wayne is not going to be in that situation, which is a little bit strange to me because I thought that's where they were going with it. I don't know. Maybe they'll find something for him to do or whatever. Maybe he can hold her coats or something. Either way, I didn't mind how that happened, but I didn't expect that Sting would be in this situation. Matter of fact, I kind of thought that Sting would be in a more bigger match. Remember from a few weeks back with Sting and Chris Jericho, I thought they were leading towards that, or perhaps maybe some kind of retirement match for Sting. Because let's be honest, this guy's like 60 something years old, and he is doing absolutely crazy shit in the ring. This was a great moment, and I'm hoping we get a great match out of these four guys. I really like seeing AR Fox, moved on to the dark side, because I think it fits him much better than him just winning matches but not showing any personality. So let's see what happens at the pay-per-view. Earlier in the night, we do have they announced this fatal four-way women's title match for All In. So far, Toni Storm is already in it, I guess because she would be owed a rematch. I don't know. And we do have Hikaru Shida versus Anna Jay. Whoever wins get to be on there. Then we have Saraya versus Sky Blue. Whoever wins get to be on there. And then the last match would be the Bunny versus Britt Baker. We already know the Bunny ain't gonna win that. So we pretty much already know who all gonna be in that match. Now we have Anna Jay and Hikaru Shida, and I'm not gonna lie, it's 9:50 and these girls are making their way out to the ring. When it's a main event, 9:50, y'all should have been in the ring a few minutes into that match. It's a huge turnoff for me for a main event to be super, super short. I'm glad that they're taking the opportunity by putting women's matches as a main event, but to give so little time, whether it's women's or not, I don't like that. Anyway, I didn't really find it to be that interesting, but I can say that Anna Jay has definitely improved in the ring. She's not no expert or anything, but I do see the growth, so I'm going to give credit where credit is due. Hikaru Shida does win. What I found interesting was that Matt Menard, Angela Parker, they were still ringside for Anna Jay, and they even tried distracting the referee. They tried distracting Hikaru Shida, and they tried helping her win. Like, the finishing move was a katana, and here comes Hikaru Shida, lays down onto Anna Jay. Anna Jay is laid out, but Angela Parker is trying to shake her up to get her up to kick out, and it doesn't work. And the ref counted 3, even though the ref is looking at him dead in the eye while that's happening. And it's just like, what the hell? It just felt a little bit weird as an ending. Anyway, Hikaru Shida win. I'm pretty sure we already knew that was going to happen. So now we have Toni Storm and Hikaru Shida, who are definitely confirmed to be part of that Fatal 4-Way at the All In pay-per-view. 2 more spots is left open, and I'm sure it's going to be Saraya for obvious reasons, and Britt Baker, obviously. So, yeah. I don't know how I feel about that. I'm just hoping we get a little story or something out of it. But knowing AEW, we won't. Guys, thanks so much for watching my review. I'll be back with ROH tomorrow. And yes, I'll go back at the stuff I missed too. Bye.